The energy industry, electricity, with its assets and even built-in financial markets, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. A big one that the average citizen has never been able to partake in. The energy club is a small one that only a small select few players get to play in, especially in the United States. About 100 front-running firms making up all the revenues. Sound about right for the US? Well, let's break it up because it's time for Chico Crypto. So why is this? Why is electricity in the US as well as across the globe structured like this? Well, it comes down to one thing: storage. Electricity, since its birth, is an asset that when produced is needed to be consumed instantly. No one could figure out how to store long-term electricity in large quantities. Even today, across a large majority of the United States at the wholesale level, electricity cannot be stored. So demand and supply must constantly be balanced in real time. I'm sure you guys have heard about the grid, the electricity grid, the interconnected system that delivers that sweet power to your home, lighting up the skies across the globe. Well, here in the US, these grids are broken down into three main regions: the Western interconnection, the Eastern interconnection, and the Texas interconnection. Now remember, electric energy is an asset that majority today still can't be stored across the grids. It goes from generator to the transmission lines to the end user home or business. But in reality, there is another person in between, the middleman, the reseller of energy to the homes and businesses. This is when the energy markets come into play, the trading of energy with resellers, which breaks down the three grids into 9 main wholesale energy markets: California ISO, non-RTO West, aka no official regional market; Southern Power Pool, Electric Reliability Council of Texas; Mid-Continent ISO, non-RTO Southeast; the PG&E interconnection; New York ISO, and ISO New England. So a limited number of wholesale markets across the United States for the most important energy asset. And remember, I said only a small select players get to play. Only about 100 front-running firms doing all of that business. The same players controlling the energy for decades and decades, allowing monopolies to form, infrastructure to suffer, and prices to rise. Thus, the energy markets are primed for change. And if you don't see it coming, let me try and help you see the change that is coming. Like I said, electricity in the past couldn't be stored, which allowed this market design to take shape. Only the players who could provide the costly infrastructure could play for generation and transfer. Those who could adhere to the regulations for real-time balancing of supply and demand. Not many players can do this. But this real-time balancing leads to much different markets than regular capital markets investors are actually used to. These energy markets are open, the trading of electricity, but you can consider it restricted open. Real-time balancing creates its own systems and technicalities that have kept less experienced traders away. Also, potential participants must show financial strength as well as technical knowledge to be granted access. aka, you need to be an accredited investor and you need to pass a test to be granted to these markets, which are on the big regulated exchanges like ICE, who has 165 future contracts in the US and 9 options, and over in Europe, 10 futures and 3 options. But the average citizen does not get to play with energy. It's too complex. Chico's opinion, this needs broken up, and it needs broken up now. Per example, let's just go to another place where these traders get to play, CME. They even have an online test for those looking to dip their toes into the waters of electricity and energy trading. The question at the bottom is, what are the key characteristics of electricity that differentiates it from other commodities like crude oil or natural gas? Answers are: number 1, it is completely interchangeable. 1 megawatt hour electricity produced from coal or natural gas contains the exactly same amount of energy. 2, it must be produced and used simultaneously. Electricity storage is still prohibitively expensive currently. Number 3, supply must meet demand exactly in the power grid. And number 4, all of the above? The correct answer is all of the above. See, even today, CME, the exchange, the regulators, and overall consensus is electricity storage is still prohibitively expensive. You might be right at this sliver in time within certain sectors of the United States, but you are totally wrong in the scope of things across the globe. Electricity storage is here, it's not expensive, and it's going to change the energy game, even how it's traded. We're in the initial stages right now, and I'm living in the state California where batteries are ground floor for the revolution. From this map, we can see California has 215 plus battery storage projects going on within it. Next biggest is Texas, Illinois, New York, and Pennsylvania, with each having between 50 to 30 projects. These states are the hotbeds for the coming energy transition within the US. And guess what? Just broke ground last year here in California. A battery storage project in collaboration between two entities, PG&E and Tesla. And once up and fully running, it will be the largest utility-owned battery storage system in the world. And they expected it to be completed and operational by the second quarter of this year. And this isn't the first Tesla PG&E collaboration. In 2017, PG&E's first lithium-ion storage system was deployed with Tesla Power Packs, which is fully operational today near Sacramento, California. This is called grid modernization, and it's happening, you just need to know where to look. Utility Dive put out a good blog post titled, PG&E may answer the billion-dollar grid modernization question. The article says, there is a lot of money at stake with grid modernization. The PG&E framework has two objectives: identify investments needed to integrate the growing number of DERs, distributed energy resources, and determine how customer-owned DERs should be valued. Grid innovation with PG&E, that has been their focus, so we should probably look to who is leading that at PG&E. September 2017, Kevin Johnson, who worked at their grid innovation department, posted this blog on the Meeting of the Minds website, where smart cities and utilities overlap. And in it he said, PG&E is taking a step towards smart platform enablement with the recent launch of Distributed Energy Resources Management System, DERMs. It's a pilot in partnership with GE, Tesla, and Green Charge. DERMs was a pilot program based on distributed energy resources with Tesla involved. Kevin Johnson knew oh so much about this in 2017. And going to Kevin J's LinkedIn today, he was promoted from the Grid Innovation Department. And as of that year, 2017, he became a principal in PG&E's corporate strategy integration team, where he is focused on identifying, supporting, and tracking strategically aligned innovation. Kevin is important at PG&E, a principal person with an eye for innovation. A little over a year after getting this role, what did Kevin do? He offered insight, perspective, and contribution to the Energy Web white paper in 2018. As we can see, they thank Kevin Johnson of PG&E. And then, once again, with the updated version in June of 2019. Now, I want to go back to the DERMS pilot program. It evolved, and in January of 2019, the latest update was put out by PG&E from the Grid Integration and Innovation Department Kevin used to lead. A large report with many good findings, but this was one of the key takeaways, and the last update from PG&E regarding their DERMS system. They said, a comprehensive DERMS is still not readily available as of early 2019. They also said, PG&E determined it is still too early to invest in a comprehensive DERMS based on the experience through this demonstration, the expected near-term impacts of DERMS on the system, and the state of the industry. While DERMS vendors exhibited capabilities in certain aspects of a DERMS, there was no vendor capable of the comprehensive DERMS system PG&E envisions at this time. Energy Web wasn't involved with that last pilot. Why? Well, for one, the blockchain wasn't live in January of 2019. It didn't go live until June of that year. And now today, Energy Web has a live blockchain, but also the D3A, Decentralized Autonomous Area Agent. This is the comprehensive DERMs PG&E was looking for in early 2019. What does the D3A do? The D3A optimizes the operation of each grid device through a modeling tool, allowing each hierarchy to be managed by its representative agent. Thus, it can be used as a tool to configure an optimal market design and make investment and management decisions. This delivers participants an enhanced understanding of smart grid mechanics, facilitating adoption of bottom-up energy markets and decentralized energy management like never before, because simulation environments can be run, analyzed, configured, and reconfigured for optimization before it's deployed to the modern transactive grid. So this DERMs platform has eluded PG&E and Tesla for some time. They couldn't find it as of early 2019. Thus, PG&E decided to take a chance on the Energy Web chain, the D3A. They joined the alliance, becoming an affiliate member, and Kevin, principal of corporate innovation, is making sure they are contributing their thoughts to the white papers. You make the connections and what the next DERMs pilot with PG&E will consist of. Cheers, I'll see you next time.